design and we always think about home interiors, restaurant interiors and things like that. But even office interiors are also as important as that. Karanam idaru fast changing business based world aanu. So the place where we work also need to complement our personality, the work related personality and and all of those kind of things. So I'm standing today in Electric Way. It's one such kind of an example of an amazing corporate interiors. And it is designed by none other than AK from AK Designo. Hello, hi. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So AK, this is kind of a very interesting kind of, an interiors because I think this is a warehouse, isn't it?
Electric Way is a company that deals with these high-end cables and high-end electrical products and all that. So they were based out of Russell Cove before, so they moved into this new facility. And the owner, Mr. Atiq Ansari, he's got this vision, he's got this youthful spirit.
Right. Okay.
So to bring that spirit to the company, now as the corporate culture is changing, it is not that just a sadharana office or a warehouse. The whole aesthetics of the space also plays a very important role nowadays. Okay. They call it there's a word they say, it's like into corporate work culture, and it even improves the outputs from the employees.
Okay.
So coming back to Atiq, he also had this vision that this should be something quite different, not the typical office space. So sitting with him, discussing his brief, we came about this quite young, energetic spirit. As you can see, the elements used is more industrial, warehouse, but at the same time, there are these luxury touches to it.
Okay.
So we fused both these elements, and we came up with the result that you see today, which is Electric Way.
There are a few elements that caught my immediate attention. One of those things were the Electric Way logo. You have kind of implemented the colors into the interiors as well, the green and the greys. So was that like...
Of course, it is intentional because that's their corporate color, and we have to carry it over into the space. But we've not, because green is such a powerful color, we can't use it abundantly. We've just used it in traces like the furnitures, maybe a green wall on the side. Influences it's not predominantly done. So that has to be there. That's their corporate feel, color, so it has to be kind of incorporated.
And plus, I think one of the people that I spoke to before I came inside, they told that they feel very peaceful over here.
Oh, that's nice.
It's the first thing that they told me is they feel very peaceful sitting here because it's a lot of greens and whites and greys, things that calms you down.
Well, you've got your answer from that itself. That's where that plays a role. Like when a staff says that makes a big impact to the institution. They are happy being here. So just by converting a space or a space nannaki chedal, idindadaya positives are what you've heard, and you've heard it from the employee. That is a very that is one of the most important things, and that makes the client happy, and we as a designer also happy to hear such things.
Alright. It's not just about beautifying the space, it's about complementing the work personality, the work culture and everything. So what exactly is the stone cladding finish? And
like I told you, that we needed something like an industrial influence because it's heavy duty cables and things like that. It's not like a soft kind of materials that they're selling. So it has to reflect that harshness, because it's usually used, these cables are used during the construction stage. So what do you relate? Concrete, harshness kind of thing. But that's
very rugged.
Rugged, rough materials. So that's one of the things that we wanted to implement with that wall there. So to give that feel that yes, the company is dealing with some sort of materials which is used as that heavy duty materials. So that we used as a backdrop, And there's also something that's very interesting which I'd like to show you.
Okay.
That's just not a wall there, that's also serves as something beyond that. One of the elements is that there is a secret door that will take you inside the meeting rooms and the public spaces.
Is it? I would love to actually. You always have a play of, you know, like.
Well, we have to bring in some interesting elements.
Yeah, okay, we'll have a look at it then.
Now, like I said, we have the secret door. Aparna, we are right now in the public corridor. This is where basically the guests, whoever has a meeting or guest that's come to meet the sales team or someone, they're basically taken into this corridor, which we are standing right now. As you can see, this leads to multiple meeting rooms, which are varying in size based on the number of people that's coming there.
All right, okay.
And this also serves as like a, say, exhibition space. The chamber, they can say they have bigger functions or gatherings. They'll use this as an exhibition space as well. Okay. And at the end of the corridor, you'll also see a small display unit for their products and things like that. So basically, this sums up to be the main public zone. So Aparna, we are in the mini meeting room right now. Okay. As you can see, it's a small space. What we have done is we've got this 4-seater table.
All right.
As you can see, this was customized.
Okay.
Just to give it a sense of space, if you can notice, the cantilever type panel.
Okay.
So that the legs are like there's more space to move around. Pinada Kudanda, you've seen that there is this lighting element.
Okay.
You don't have any other light. It comes from within this panel. So this was the whole design intent.
For our viewers, could you please explain what exactly is the cantilever effect?
Basically, the idea is that for something to float, it needs some sort of support.
Okay.
When it's cantilevered, it means it's just projected by itself.
There is nothing that is...
There is a support structure below, but it looks like it's floating.
It's floating.
The whole idea of cantilever is to give that feel of...
That it's floating. Okay. And plus it also saves space, as you said.
It saves space, yes. Okay. We wanted it without legs, but unfortunately we couldn't because it needed the support.
Okay, all right.
So basically we are in the conference room now.
Okay.
What you saw outside, there was the mini meeting rooms.
All right.
It was more of a casual setting right now. It's for 2-3 people.
All right.
This is the main, say, conference room where there's formal meetings, formal discussions and all that.
Okay.
Here also the other factor is that there's a lot of technology involved. They have this high-end, these conference videos, everything is there.
Okay.
So apart from that, we've tried to make it a little casual. We don't want to make it very rigid and formal like the other settings. As you can see, the ceiling has got these waves and organic shape.
Okay, to bring about
a little bit more casual feel.
Okay.
Rigid feel.
Straight angle, they've made it like more dynamic.
More dynamic, a little bit, say, playful.
Okay.
And what was the other feature of this conference room was that you see these lights. We wanted to, since we're doing this complex ceiling, we couldn't have this regular kind of lights.
Yeah.
So what we did was we customized these lights to match the ceiling element and to make it look like as if it's coming down from the ceiling.
Right. Okay.
So like again, adungudi oru play ayirno, you can say. It's just to make it a little dynamic in the sense. And apart from that, you can see that the kind of colors we've used is dark, and even the wood of the conference is a little brighter. So as to bring in that slightly casual feel, but at the same time not breaking away from the formal atmosphere that it will create for conferences.
So this is a place usually where all the major conferences happen related to this office.
Right. This is, I think this will not be used regularly. This is where if they have a bigger, say, a board meeting or more formal presentations, this is where it's going to be done.
Okay.
And as you can see, it's for even a larger gathering. Then seat numbers are more. And there is even a little bit more space in the room so that if they want to have additional seating, that can be also done.
One of the most interesting things that I noticed about this space is that there is a view to the outside. I can see a lot of green elements through the transparency of the glass walls. What exactly is that area about?
It's basically the breakout space, which you cannot access from here though.
Okay.
It's accessed from the outside, and it is basically having the a landscape element. It's for the staff to just relax in the evenings, or when the weather is good. It's more of that Zen garden kind of concept.
Oh, very interesting.
Which is nice, and actually that got a lot of comments from the authorities, because this is one of the first few warehouses to incorporate such an element.
Zen garden.
Zen garden.
And what exactly do you mean by a Zen garden?
Zen garden is basically, it's not just full greenery. There's a lot of hard stones. It's a Japanese influenced kind of space.
Do you expect somebody to reach a Zen stage when they're actually over there?
Most probably.
Okay, we can actually go check it out.
If I'm going to be reaching, you have a look at it and see if it is happening.
In the Zen stage.
So Aparna, this is the space that we were talking about, that you can say that Zen garden.
The Zen garden,
about. Yeah.
Yes.
Let's have a seat and enjoy.
One can actually feel it is a very calming, relaxing place. There's a lot of play of greens and whites as the front. There are Zen pebbles and all of that kept over there, right? So what exactly was the idea about having this space?
You having said what you felt,
right,
itself succeeded, meaning we can say that we succeeded in what we wanted to do.
Okay.
The client, this was his idea.
All right.
We just kind of developed the design and the concept. But it was for him very critical that there is that breakout space. If a client telling staff one relax just in a say better weather, like winter samay, we can actually open up the doors. These are collapsible doors. This is actually an outdoor space. We are sitting in an outdoor space, but it's like you can say convertible space.
That's very, very interesting. When the weather is better, you can convert it.
And it opens up and you've got this beautiful garden. And the whole idea also, you can see that apart from just few furnitures, everything else is fixed.
Right.
Which also plays as a seating, extended seating, probably a table. They can have their tea, coffee, meaning this could be just a small gathering space even. So this is the multi-purpose space.
This one, okay. It's very interesting.
And even, as you can see, we've played with levels just to give a sense of, just being, instead of one level, we've played with these two heights and all that. So if there's a function, there can be one set of people there, one set of people here. So it's quite flexible.
So are you telling that to a design perspective, when one actually plays with levels, it kind of,
when you have a lot more space, yes, it makes sense.
Okay.
When it's constricted, it doesn't, you can't. Okay. Because we feel the level differences.
Right, okay. Here play of levels, like if there's actually a function happening over there, the viewers can actually sit a little bit of a distance and there's a level difference that happens over there, and they can still enjoy it as audience, and a performance based, those kind of activities is also possible in that way. And I think that's a very, very brilliant way of playing with levels. One of the other things that I noticed about this place is the zigzag cupboards and the corridors. And what exactly is the story behind it?
Basically, on the right side, we have all the senior management and team.
Okay. So,
and then the workstation centralized.
Right.
And the idea is that we were getting a straight corridor. Usually it is like that. There is side corridor and a workstation. Yeah. But the client also insisted, let's break away from it. So we thought through on what can be done. And one of the ideas was to break that linearity.
Okay.
So we kind of tilted this whole angle and then broke it. Like you can say, we created these angles.
Okay.
And the other thing we did with these angles is the fact that, as you can see, that we've used the partitions to create like more storage. Because that was one other thing that the client requested, that to have more storage for space. So we use this zigzag also has an element for storage. So there's both the aesthetics, but more storage as well. Okay. So it kind of like combined. So nobody realizes that there's something here. And the good thing is that one storage is for this workstation and the other storage is for the cabins inside.
Okay.
So it kind of shared.
All right.
And then the other thing that you've noticed is that where you have the ceiling, it's straight, it's flat. But then again, we wanted to carry over this zigzag effect. But usually what people do is that ceiling airikum ellarum aina cut cheyidu illengil you play with the ceiling. Here we kept the ceiling plain and then we use these lights to create and extend that zigzag feel.
Yeah, you can see it is actually complementing it.
That's right.
It's complementing.
And the other thing also, as you can see, open workstation is storage. Storage was very critical because they have a lot of files, storage requirements. In an open space, how do you add extra storage? The only way was we had to think through on like a hanging storage device where it also became a light plus storage. And this was customized. It's not something ready-made, not something bought. So it serves, so everything serves some function or the other. It's not just for the looks of it, like from that. So that's what we managed to pull off in this kind of workspace. Now you've seen the office, the workspace, the conference meeting and all that. Right. Now you have to go and see the CEO's room. It's completely different in the sense that it's a little bit more luxurious. And it's not the same feel that you've seen.
It's obviously the CEO's office, so it has to be like.
And I think you'll have the opportunity to meet him as well as see the space.
Oh wow, and I have a lot of questions also.
Great, take care. How are you?
I think.
You know, one of the first few things that I noticed, this is not anything like a warehouse design, you know.
Yeah.
So what inspired you to make such an amazing office with such amazing interiors?
Thank you very much for the compliment.
Yeah.
Actually, it's been a group effort between us and the creative team, which is AK's team, you know.
Right.
So the most important part when we decided to design a new office was that we are not a very new age business. We're a very industrial, you know, construction based business. So we wanted to have interiors which are rugged, at the same time have a very cool and very smooth effect. So we were looking for mixing the industrial materials like cement and like open floors and high ceilings with a very modern look where we have a lot of wood we've introduced. So we want to mix these both elements together and see what kind of atmosphere we come up with.
Okay. And plus I've noticed that it's very clutter free. It's very neat and unique, and you know, it doesn't have many complications.
So I think the first design premise which we had discussed when we started the project was we needed a very clean design. We weren't looking for too many objects, we weren't looking for too much, too loud, and we wanted to maximally utilize the light coming into the place, you know. Wow. We're based on the main road, so we wanted to see what we could get. And the most important part when we started this project was a clean design, a mix of a rugged industrial look, at the same time very high quality finishes. So that's what the brief we had given, that's what you see today.
And that's what AK implemented with
very
good expertise.
AK, yeah, I mean I was quite impressed with the way they've done the job. They understood our brief very well, and and I would say that especially with some of the features of this office, like the entrance and like my room, I think they've come up with exactly what I was looking for. And that is it's a big challenge for him, but it's a very good thing for me.
For you, yeah. As a client.
As a client. Yes.
And one of the most amazing part of this place, personally for me, was the breakout space, you know, the Zen garden as AK.
Yeah, that was by accident actually. We had some extra space, we didn't know what to do with it. So we decided that we'd like to put together an area where, you know, it could be more of a relaxation zone, it could be more of a zone where we could have clients, even the staff get together. And we are situated very far away from the city, you know, so we spend a lot of our day over here. So we wanted our staff and all of us to feel like home, you know, and at the same time not to be like home, but a very different atmosphere, something to look forward to come to work every day. So we host parties over there. We have several business events which we host gatherings with VIPs over there, or we have even birthday parties over there. So it's just kind of a very unique environment where people can come and just relax and de-stress. And this is very important. Many people in our industry don't understand the importance of a very good workplace, they're all about low cost, and I'm not saying that we spend a lot of money. We've spent it wisely, more than and it's been very economical, but we've got what we wanted, and most important was looking after our people, and that's exactly what AK and me, I think, have done together.
That's a lovely concept, because it's not very often, it's not very often that you get to have bosses where they actually look after the workers or the employees well-being, to work in such a well-designed environment. It's not just about beauty, not just to beautify the space, but also to make it comfortable for someone to work in.
Yeah. This is not my first project with AK. We've worked on a couple of small projects before.
Oh really?
And this was the first big project we got into, and I was quite excited about the whole thing, because I like design, and I like clean designs. I like new materials. I like the feel of something. I have this maybe artistic streak within me, which I'm not in the industry. So I kind of try to merge whatever I could. And it's again, we are a young company. I started off when I was only 22 years old. And we've come a long way. So it was very important for me that my staff, who's been with me for so long, and my team, to have a place where they enjoy working and they come to work, and it's not about the money aspect or the business aspect, but just about the comfort of it. So people would like to stay longer at work. It's a way of bosses keeping the employees at work as well. And we've had people working longer hours now, so it's kind of good for us.
Now that you brought up the artistic, part of it, first to notice one of the first few things that I noticed was the paintings. The paintings over here, they're very unique, especially like when I entered this space, especially your office. The first thing that I noticed was the cycle painting, which has been kept over there. Yeah. And a special way of mentioning is also there. The Oro art piece in the side, artist that particular artist, the details of the artist is given, which I do not see very often. Rather, I see it very rarely.
Yeah. So I think I've been very fortunate that I've been. I come from a family business, so I've been very fortunate that I've been able to travel a lot.
Right,
since a very young age. So and I travel alone many places. So I like to pick up stuff from countries where I go to, which catches my eye. And the most important thing is, and what I've seen is, every country has a unique style with relations to its artists. So I keep picking up paintings. So this one you see is from Vietnam, is done by a young Vietnamese artist. And
there's a story
behind everything. Yeah. And it's also important to, I always believe in the power of the individual. And the team. So the individual brings his own his own individual traits, and the team brings their traits. So when this artist has designed something which is so unique and so beautiful, because the first rule in collecting art is you got to like it, because you never know how long you're going to keep it with you. So in a way, it's not about how much you pay for the pieces, it's about how much you like the pieces. Yeah. And if you don't appreciate them, then I don't see a point of buying them.
So have you also segregated the paintings according to if that painting had a particular characteristic, have you kept it?
No, I generally, I started buying a lot of art from young artists. So I was trained and I got a lot of influence from some of my friends who are collectors, and we tried to say, okay, let's pick up a certain artist and let's start following them and see their body of work and how they change and evolve over the years. So I started with very young artists around 10 years ago, and most of my art is not on the walls, they're all in the warehouse. But I try to see how an art piece fits into an environment rather than an environment fitting into the art. So unless I find that it goes along with it, I don't put it up. So this was probably one of my few pieces I've put up in this office. And some of them are done very well. I mean, some of the artists who are very young, and I started out with that, now I'm selling at Christie's and auctions. But some of them are still there and I like them a lot. So, you go with the flow.
Okay. Yeah. So I think that's sums up your amazing vision about having this place, and I think you've done an amazing job.
Thank you very much for the compliment. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
I hope you have a good time here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As an employee, I would have loved to work in a space that has been so beautifully designed. Interior design is not just about home interiors or restaurants. It's also about corporate interiors. In the Namalakandadu was one such example. I have many more lined up. So till the next time, take care, bye-bye and peace out.